Get ready for the action because Fred VanVleet is dropping truth bombs about Kevin Durant's media game. He's addressing the controversy surrounding Durant's alleged burner accounts and what it all means for his career. We dive deep into VanVleet's perspective on the curse Durant carries and why that openness makes him a target for every headline. You need to hear what he thinks is driving this massive media spotlight on the superstar. Authentic personality creates a perfect storm for clickbait and controversy. And finally, we wrap up with the full breakdown of VanVleet's theory regarding Kevin Durant's media attention, exploring how his approach contrasts with Kawhi Leonard's handling of the spotlight. Don't miss a single detail of this explosive conversation. Stay locked in because the NBA news is heating up right now. Fred VanVleet has offered a candid perspective on Kevin Durant, suggesting that Durant may be his own biggest source of negative media attention. VanVleet discussed the role of alleged burner social media accounts in the Houston Rockets' challenging 2025-26 season during a recent episode of his Unguarded podcast. VanVleet initially remained guarded, stating that lies were more appealing than the truth when addressing the controversy. Speaking about Durant's reputation, VanVleet described the dynamic as a gift and a curse. He explained that Durant's authenticity and approachability create ample space for critics to inject their own narratives, noting that Durant's tendency to not directly confront detractors makes it easy for sensationalism and clickbait to flourish. VanVleet drew a comparison between Durant and Kawhi Leonard, with whom he won a championship in 2019. He contrasted the two players, observing that Leonard maintained a private demeanor and remained unaffected by negative media scrutiny, whereas Durant consistently engages with every controversy involving his name. The context for this discussion is set against the backdrop of Durant's turbulent first season with the Rockets, which included incidents involving leaked social media accounts criticizing teammates, reportedly serving as a major distraction late in the campaign. VanVleet concluded by noting that following his own ACL injury, Durant has lost a veteran peer in the Rockets' locker room, potentially altering the dynamic of how Durant interacts with his teammates moving forward. In a candid discussion on his Unguarded podcast, NBA player Jrue Holiday addressed the controversial conclusion of the Houston Rockets' 2025-26 campaign, specifically focusing on the role of Kevin Durant's alleged burner accounts. Holiday initially offered cryptic responses, suggesting that falsehoods were more compelling than the truth. The conversation quickly shifted to Kevin Durant, with Holiday reflecting on the dynamic between Durant and the team's narrative. He characterized Durant's openness as both a gift and a curse. Holiday noted that Durant's authenticity and approachability create a significant space for external commentary, stating that this openness allows others to insert their own interpretations or twists onto the situation. Holiday suggested that Durant's tendency to avoid direct confrontation, such as explicitly saying no or opposing narratives, inadvertently facilitates clickbait farming and sensationalism surrounding his public persona. The Houston Rockets are entering the NBA offseason with a clear mandate for improvement, following a disappointing season that saw them exit in the first round of the playoffs for the second consecutive year despite high expectations. While the team could opt to maintain its current roster, citing injuries as the primary reason to avoid major moves this summer, the organization is actively monitoring several high-profile targets for potential trades aimed at acquiring a star player. One area of interest is the Los Angeles Clippers, which appears to be shifting toward a rebuild following the departures of James Harden and Ivica Zubac. This strategic shift could make them a viable target for a trade involving a player like Kawhi Leonard. Another name on the radar is the veteran player with 1 year remaining on his contract. Having posted one of his best seasons, this player averages 27.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.9 steals per game, presenting an enticing prospect for Houston. Furthermore, trade rumors surrounding Jaylen Brown are generating intrigue. Despite the Celtics' current roster, Brown, a two-way player in his prime and a sixth-place finish in MVP voting, is a highly valuable asset. While the fit with Jason Tatum is debated, Houston could theoretically entice Boston with a significant package, potentially including Kevin Durant, to acquire Brown. However, the most obvious and potentially transformative target remains Giannis Antetokounmpo. Reports indicate the Milwaukee Bucks are seeking trade offers for the Greek Freak, and the Rockets are positioned to offer a compelling package featuring a collection of young players and draft capital. Pairing Antetokounmpo with Kevin Durant would create arguably the most formidable duo in the league, though the Rockets would need to ensure they maintain sufficient depth outside of that core. These potential acquisitions highlight the Rockets' ambition to pivot and secure a championship-caliber roster moving into the next season. The media scrutiny surrounding Kevin Durant is being dissected by his teammate, Fred VanVleet, who has offered a candid theory on why Durant receives such intense attention. The insights, originally published by the Sporting News, delve into the dynamic between Durant's public persona and the resulting media narrative. VanVleet, who knows Durant's on-court demeanor, commented on the attention surrounding Durant's alleged burner accounts and the general media focus on superstars. He suggested that Durant's openness and authenticity are both a gift and a curse. According to VanVleet, Durant's relatability creates an opening for media outlets to inject their own interpretations, noting that if Durant does not directly challenge these narratives, there is ample room for clickbait and speculation. This discussion follows years of speculation regarding Durant's use of alternate accounts, an action he has previously admitted to using for casual browsing and open discussion. However, the narrative intensified recently during the 2026 All-Star Weekend when an X account closely linked to Durant began circulating widely. This account garnered significant attention because its activity aligned with key personal moments, and it included criticism directed at both former and current teammates, escalating the level of chaos in the speculation. The report underscores a key aspect of Durant's public life. Despite his status as an elite player, he appears to enjoy public interaction. While a professional athlete may not feel the need to prove anything to the general public, Durant seems to embrace these interactions. The conversation highlights the complex relationship between superstar authenticity, media framing, and the persistent cycle of online speculation.